mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about fractions, more specifically about multiplying fractions by simplifying first. To get us started, we have 9 over 10 times 1 over 6. In order to simplify first, before we multiply, we have to look at the numbers that are diagonal from each other. So first we're going to take a look at 9 and 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to write out the factors of 9 and 6. So the factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. And that's because 1 times 9 is equal to 9, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. And our factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, 6. And that's because 1 times 6 is equal to 6, and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Now we're going to find their greatest common factor. So 9 and 6 both have a common factor of 1. And they both have a common factor of 3. So their greatest common factor in this case is going to be 3. So because 9 and 6 have a greatest common factor that is not 1, what we're going to do is we're going to take both these numbers and divide them by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. So we're going to cross out the 9 and instead write the 3, which is the answer we got here when we divided by 3. And then for the 6, we're going to do 6 divided by 3. And 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So we cross out the 6 and we're going to write a 2 here. Then we're going to look at the other two numbers that we have that are diagonal to each other. And what we're going to do is we're going to find out all their factors and their greatest common factor. So the factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. And the factors of 1 is just 1. And they do have a common factor, which is 1, but our greatest common factor has to be a factor other than 1. So we're going to leave these two alone. Now, when we multiply our numerator times our numerator and denominator times our denominator, we're not going to have to simplify our final answers since we have the most simplified version of our fractions here. So instead of doing 9 times 1, we're going to do 3 times 1, which is equal to 3. And then we're going to do 10 times 2, which is equal to 20. So 9 over 10 times 1 over 6 is equal to 3 over 20. Now we have 10 over 21 times 14 over 25. So we're going to focus on the two numbers that are diagonal from each other. We could start with either one, but we're going to start with 10 and 25 in this case. So our factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. And our factors of 25 are 1, 5, and 25. And they have a common factor of 1. And they have a common factor of 5. And in this case, 5 is our greatest common factor. So we're going to take both these values and divide them by 5. So starting with the 10, 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. So we're going to cross out the 10 and replace it with a 2. And then for the 25, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cross it out. 25 divided by 5 is equal to 5. And we're going to replace that with 5. Then we're going to look at our other two numbers that are diagonal to each other, which in this case are 14 and 21. We're going to write out the factors of 14, which are 1, 2, 7, and 14. And our factors of 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21. And notice that they have a greatest common factor here because we have two common factors, which is 1, and then another common factor, which is 7, and that makes 7 our greatest common factor. And so we're going to take both these values and divide them by 7. So we're going to cross out the 14. 14 divided by 7 is equal to 2. We're going to replace that with a 2. And then we're going to cross out the 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So we're going to replace that with a 3. And so now we have 2 over 3 times 2 over 5. So we're going to multiply our new numerators together. So 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And then our denominators, 3 times 5 is equal to 15. And notice here that our fraction is fully simplified because we simplified before multiplying. So 10 over 21 times 14 over 25 is equal to 4 over 15. All right, so next we have 2 over 3 times 9 over 13. We're going to look at our numbers that are diagonal from each other and write out their factors. So the factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Factors of 13 are 1 and 13. So the only common factor they have is 1. So they don't have a common factor other than 1, so we're going to leave them alone. Then we're going to take a look at 9 and 3. So our factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9. And our factors of 3 are 1 and 3. So they both have a common factor of 1. And they both also have a common factor of 3. That makes 3 our greatest common factor, so we're going to divide both these numbers by 3. So, to get us started, we cross out the 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we're going to replace that 9 with a 3. And then we're going to divide 3 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we're going to replace that number with a 1. And now we're going to multiply 2 times our new numerator, which is 3. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. And then we're going to multiply our denominators. 1 times 13 is equal to 13. And here, we'll get the most simplified answer. So 2 over 3 times 9 over 13 is equal to 6 over 13. Finally, we have 12 over 35 times 5 over 18. We're going to take a look at our two numbers that are diagonal from each other, so 12 and 18. Our factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Our factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. And they have a common factor of 1. They have a common factor of 2. They have a common factor of 3. And they have a common factor of 6. And because 6 is the greatest common factor, we're going to go with that one. We're going to start off by crossing out the 12 and dividing it by 6. 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2, so we're going to replace that number with a 2. And then we're going to go ahead and divide 18 by 6, which is equal to 3, and replace that number with a 3. Then we're going to look at our other two numbers that are diagonal, which are 5 and 35. So our factors of 5 are 1 and 5, and our factors of 35 are 1, 5, 7, and 35. So they both have a common factor of 1. They both have a common factor of 5. And that's it, and that makes 5 our greatest common factor. So we're going to take both these numbers and divide them by 5. So we cross out the 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, sorry. And we're going to put a 1 there. And then we're going to do 35 divided by 5, which is 7, and replace that number with a 7. So now we're going to multiply our new numerators. So 2 times 1 is equal to 2, and 7 times 3 is equal to 21. And that's our final answer. So when we simplify before multiplying, we don't have to simplify at the very end. And that's it for multiplying fractions by simplifying first.